Okay, so we're back on. Trying to see here. Sound check was good. Alright. So, guys, we're going to do a quick discussion. We were just going to test out our new mics that we got here. But, since we got a couple of people on and rather quickly in the past couple of minutes, we went ahead and opened up a new video, new discussion. It's been a while since we've been having our podcast. We're trying to make a regular day, two days out of the week of it, and just been busy doing other things, other commitments, of course. But one of the things that we wanted to bring up, as the title tells you, and we saw a lot of concern coming from you guys, the residents here in Eagle Pass, Maverick County. And the concern came from how much the Eagle Pass Independent School District Superintendent Samuel Mijares is being compensated through the Board of Trustees. Now, his compensation, as we reported on the Maverick Times News, is upwards of $297,000, making him in the top 100 out of 1,200 schools. He is in the top 100, lands in 90 something out of 1,200 public schools in Texas. So that easily puts him in, you're talking about in the 1% paid bracket as far as superintendents across the state of Texas. 297,000 is what he is compensated. That is what TEA has, the association that is oversees everything having to do with the education system here in Texas. They have him listed at 297,000 for a 13,000 student enrollment. Okay, so the highest paid superintendent in the state of Texas makes a little over $1,500,000. I think it was $536, something like that. But that's the top paid superintendent. Now, the superintendent for our demographic, of course, Maverick County is on the larger side of counties in the state of Texas. I believe it's ranked 30 something out of 200 and something land-wise. So enrollments at 13,000. We have 80 to 90 total superintendents that get over 300,000. Mr. Mijares is just under that cusp, but again, nonetheless, still making 297,000 plus whatever is stipulated in his contract. We do not have a copy of his contract at this time, but we do know that it's standard for a position like this to have a salary and possibly being compensated for travel, use of his own vehicle, and other perks that you get being in that position. Paco Jr., kid from Hoax, is back on the bus. I think he got a right of that privilege when he made that video. Wow. See, and this is a thing. We received a lot of messages whenever that that video happened. Apparently, Paco Jr. is letting us know that kid is back in school on the bus. Seems like there was no repercussions for what was done. I know a lot of parents were scrambling that day whenever we put out the news of a possible gun. We didn't know until later on. They told us, and it was a poor description, a poor discussion. How is a superintendent going to stand there and tell you, a parent, that they took so long to let you know because they did not have a template? A template to tell you it was a toy gun. Now, I can sympathize. Yeah, okay, you don't have a template, you don't have something ready, superintendent, but is that something that you discuss with the public? Now, the public was very worried at the time about, a lot of things go through parents' minds whenever they hear any type of situation, especially whenever Uvalde was rocked with in Robb Elementary. Whenever that was rocked, I think that kind of implanted something in every parent's brain here, where we just kind of tend to panic whenever we think that something like that could happen here. But back to the point at hand, you have a superintendent that gets out there and tries to speak about the situation that's happening. Now, we've done some investigative work, some preliminary investigative work, and a lot of the things that the residents here, parents of students, do not realize what happens is that EPISD, Eagle Pass Independent School District, is quickly becoming one of the most, how do I say this, sue capital of the world, I guess, because everybody is suing Eagle Pass Independent School District. I just saw another lawsuit that was filed back in February 2024, a couple of months ago, about them not having adequate services, and a employee of the Eagle Pass Independent School District was suing because she was not given certain restrictions or certain accommodations in her case. Now, we do have other cases where we've discovered where a Jane Doe has sued the school district. This Jane Doe sued the school district because she was not given the same treatment as others have been in the independent school district. Now, that goes into a lot of rumors that we've heard coming from Eagle Pass High School, coming from CC Wynn. A lot of the things, and I can't tell you particulars because I don't know if they're true, that the ISD is tied up. They're really good at suppressing stories or keeping things from coming out. Now, a lot of the times, I feel, this is my opinion, that they try to contain any type of situation that happens, and then after the fact, once the cat's out of the bag, so to speak, that the news starts getting involved. You have the local news that, that they're usually on top of their stuff, and they hear stuff going on, and that usually is what forces Eagle Pass Independent School District to finally come out and say something. A little thirsty. It's Friday night, guys. I expect you guys to be enjoying yourself. Of course, we're having this little open discussion about the superintendent's grotesque salary that he has going on right now. $297,000. We appreciate Paco commenting in. If you guys have any type of comments or anything you want to address as far as the pay that the superintendent is receiving, or any comments that's situations going on in your schools, your students' campuses, please let us know. We want to hear. I think it's only fair if somebody is given such huge amount of money, which everybody deserves more money. But what is it that the community is getting back now? These situations have been going on. We hear on the news that students were being robbed right outside of the school property. We've heard, toy guns. Pac was letting us know that kid that did that video, that created, a big commotion, because it does, and it takes away from instructional hours that kids need to go. It takes away, production from parents at their workplace, because they're worried about their students. And I don't blame them, especially, we were always, in a sense, as an Eagle Pass, as a small community, that nothing like Columbine could happen here, nothing like big shooting could happen here. And the thing that happened in Uvalde hit really close to home, where Uvalde is a smaller town than us, that they were rocked by the shooting that happened there recently, a little over a year ago, right? And now it kind of leaves all these parents worried about the situation. What if it happens here? If it happened in Uvalde, it could happen here. It could happen anywhere, right? So you have a superintendent that is receiving well. I understand how Paco is saying, right? Now, I will say this: we did receive a text message shortly after the situation was already resolved, and what this person told us that toy gun was an actual prop, was a prop provided by the school. Now, I cannot confirm that because we have not spoken to the school district. I will say that they typically do always answer our requests, or Mr. Mijares does answer our concerns or does call us back whenever we are questioning any situation that's going on. I will give that credit to him. But I think the situation coming down is that if you compare the enrollment and what is available to our community, well, not the community, but the students in this community, it just does not match up. Now, I had the privilege of working in Del Rio for about a year. I spoke to I got involved a little bit with the Lions Club there in Del Rio, and they were strong supporters of Del Rio High School and their career technology development program that they have out there. Now, that's one thing that, I know Eagle Pass is improving in that way, but as you can see, there's other areas, other school districts that are doing things that our school district does not make available. I mean, you have, let's not go that far. Swimming. Why don't we have swimming in our school district? Swimming meets, wrestling. Where's wrestling? Where are these other sports? Debate. I don't know if we have a debate team. There's a lot of opportunity, especially here in Eagle Pass, when we're paying for a top dollar superintendent, right? So you would think that the superintendent would make things better. Now, to comparison, the previous superintendent, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Salinas, was making about half, guys. 50%, half of what right now Samuel Mijares, the superintendent, is making. Now, albeit the enrollment has grown a bit, but it's not that much of a difference from when Mr. Salinas was the superintendent. Now, another cat it needs to come out of the bag, right? You have Mr. Mijares, who is the highest paid, which he should be as the superintendent of the Eagle Pass Independent School District, and the second highest paid just so happens to be a relative of his brother. Again, for those of you that don't know, you got Mijares, number one paid in EPISD, and then the second highest paid person in EPISD is named Mijares again, his brother. So now I know that you have to fill out a disclosure form for those types of things, but let me pose this question to you. Do you think that if you were running, if you were a CEO, if you were a superintendent, a city manager, don't you think it would be a lot easier to get away with something if your brother's the one who takes care of the finance? Do you think that would be, easier to hide stuff under the rug? Hey, carnal, I gotta give this guy over here a raise. He saw me doing this. I have to give him a raise, carnal. How can we do it? Okay. What positions we got? Okay. All right. And entre hermanos, pues no, everything can stay within brothers. Now, That's not even the biggest thing. The biggest thing is that EPISD is becoming the entity that is attracting the most lawsuits. They're getting lawsuits from their teachers. They're getting lawsuits from substitute bus drivers. Now, the substitute bus driver lawsuit had to be the most grotesque one, where this lady is claiming, this substitute bus driver is claiming, sexual harassment of men doing, inappropriate things around her, female employees. Now, working most of my working career in the public sector, that's a very sensitive thing. Sexual harassment, there's laws against that. Now, this is not the first time that EPISD has gone through that type of situation. It's a regular occurrence is what it's becoming. I was just mentioning about the lawsuit from a Jane Doe. Now, how much in fear does this person need to be to make a lawsuit where she's not named or he's not named? Well, she, right, Jane Doe, where they have to use the alias Jane Doe. Now, you could imagine the fear that this woman may have of retaliation. And we know, I can tell you from my days in the city of Eagle Pass, retaliation is alive and well. Whenever you have somebody in higher power and then you have somebody under them that, for whatever reason things are happening, things aren't, meshing well, it happens. Not everybody does it, but it does happen. People do take retaliatory actions against other people that may, be trying to come out with the truth or speak about something that's happening within the organization. And that is where things can get kind of difficult. Now, one thing I will say is that why does it matter to you, the constituent, the resident, the taxpayer, that EPISD is getting these types of lawsuits? Why does it matter? Because it is your tax dollars that is being used to pay out these settlements and these lawsuits. And I can guarantee you, they're not going to go to trial. No news media. You tell me what other news media has told you guys about a Jane Doe lawsuit that EPISD had filed against them. No one. No other news media is telling you that. What news media is telling you guys about the incident in the transportation department where we have a substitute driver that filed a lawsuit in federal court in Del Rio stating that she was being sexually harassed on a daily basis, where males in a supervisory capacity would grab their genitals in front of these ladies. This particular one that actually filed was a substitute bus driver. And why does it matter to you as a resident, as a taxpayer, as a member of this community? Is that whether you have a student or not in going to school, you're still paying the school taxes. You still have to pay. Whether you have a student in your household or not, you're still paying school taxes. So it matters very much, because anytime they settle out, and they're going to settle these cases, because a lot of stuff happens at that school, around these schools. Guys, we've received so many comments. We've seen so many reports that parents have given us, that students have given us, but we have not been able to confirm. Let's be honest, and it's only fair to everybody involved. To bring out certain accusations or anything like that, you would have to have some proof. Now, there's proof. We have not been able to gather the certain proof to show you guys, but we've had people come up to us, talk about the Eagle Pass High School apparently has some kind of sex trafficking ring, where there's a teacher, administrator, somebody involved that is catering to a certain group, uh, uh, and is offering these young ladies in school to these people. Now, we don't know what money is involved. We don't know who the players are. We've received this comments, and it's not, I mention it because it's not just from one person that we've heard this story, that there is a sex ring going on at the Eagle Pass High School. Whether it's true or not, we have not been able to confirm. But what I'm saying is that where there's smoke, there's fire. That's just the nature of the beast. Is where there's smoke, there's fire, and maybe there isn't a full blown sex ring going on at the Eagle Pass High School, but there may be something to that effect, because that's what we're hearing. Again, I cannot confirm these because we have not been able to secure a witness from the inside to tell us exactly who are the players in this. But we have received many comments about the situation happening and this is what I was told at the high school. Again, we do have our ears to the ground, so to speak, to the street, and we have been monitoring, our channels to see if any information has come forward, and we urge you as parents, as students, if you have anything to tell us, get in contact with us. It's important because there needs to be some kind of checks and balances, and I believe that especially when somebody commands a salary that especially is paid by taxpayers, they need to be at a level of performance that is satisfactory to the taxpayers, if that makes sense to you guys. But Lando Fortis, there's retaliation in every job. I can just imagine how it goes in local intergovernmental entities. Yeah, I mean, Fortis, shout out to Fortis, always real active in our videos. Appreciate that. But I've shared with many of y'all in pieces of videos, and retaliation is yeah, it happens. It happened to me, and the reason why I was retaliated against was what the typical thing is that you come out and you're telling the truth of what is happening, when some of these entities would rather keep things under wraps and not let what happens in their entities out, which I could also understand why they do that. But I could also play the other side of the fence where, we need to be, as parents, as taxpayers, as members of this community, we need to have some sort of watchdog system, or have somebody readily, looking over some of these things. And by no means do we nominate ourselves in any type of way, but we are here, and while we're doing the thing that we're doing here, having some fun, playing the media role, since in my opinion, everybody else here locally is not really up to par. So we're trying to push for a better product more than anything. Whether we'll stay in the space, we don't know. But one thing is for sure, it's time of test, is that when people are forced to do better or pushed to do better, there's always better results that come out on the end. And that's what we're trying to do here, is better the community. From your typical, what is it that we hear? Dirt town, todos compadres, this, that, and the other. And, it is like that to some point. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. But you need to be able to hold somebody accountable. And who are we going to hold accountable? The top dog and the board of whatever entity that is, not performing, so to speak. Now, getting back to the topic, superintendent making 297,000. Guys, what needs to be understood here is that what is happening all across Texas, and there's demands coming to the Texas House about putting an item on legislature whenever they open up legislature again, the legislation to put something to regulate the salaries of superintendents because they are getting out of hand. And especially with the post that we put today out there, you are seeing how out of hand it's getting, not at the state level, but at the local level, where we have elementaries that don't have running water, water for them to drink, potable water. We have schools that are having trouble with restrooms. We have old schools that, are, for a lack of better words, falling apart. And we are paying, and I say we because taxpayers, we are paying the salary of the superintendent $297,000. Now, I would like for y'all watching now, those that are going to watch this later, drop in the comment if at any time you've tried to call this superintendent and he hasn't made your phone calls. Because, I've never had a problem with that. Whenever we do call the office and we say, we're from Maverick Times, we need to speak with the superintendent about a situation that's happening to get clarification, typically we are passed over or transferred over to the superintendent, or he does call us back if he's busy at the time. And I will say I do appreciate that. But we have heard that it's not the same situation for all the parents. So that's what we're out there. Jonathan Cavazos, 300K is crazy. Yeah, it's 297,000. 297,000, Jonathan. But typically, the way these types of contracts are structured, especially with the CEO, which, as a superintendent, that's what it is, a chief executive officer that answers to the board. They also get perks. So I would say, yeah, it's probably way past that 300,000 with the perks involved, with the perks thrown in. Now, I can't stipulate on those perks because I don't have his contract on hand, so I won't. But do know that that is a typical situation. I know that the previous city manager, Mr. Antuna for the city of Eagle Pass, had all sorts of perks in his contract. So that's something that is normal, I guess, normal practice. So that 297,000 is just, what's being paid out. I'm not sure if that's including fringe benefits. That's something that needs to be acknowledged as well. But regardless of the fact, yeah, 300K is crazy. I think that very well explains the situation. Now, there is school districts, there are superintendents out there. Again, we mentioned one, I think it's either from Dallas County or Harris County, that receives just over $500,000 annually for a school district. But again, that is much larger than the 13,000 enrolled here in Eagle Pass Independent School District. So that's the situation that we're rolling out for you guys here. And we were actually just testing some equipment that we got. Thank you for those that, commented and said that everything was sounding good. We're trying to improve on our situation here. I apologize for that lighting. The lighting's not the best, but we'll work on that next time. But we wanted to get here, and we saw a couple of people coming on, and the situation, we were looking at the views for the superintendent and on the website, and for that particular post, we're nearing 400 views, guys. So this is an important topic to you guys. It's an important topic to us, me as a parent in particular. And I say us because as the news media, the Maverick Times News, it's important to keep accountability with local officials. I full disclosure, everybody knows I work for a public entity, and in no way would I say don't keep a public entity under accountability, because that's the most important thing, is to be able to keep an entity accountable for their actions and for their movement, because we as taxpayers are the ones that are providing this funding to, or the tax pay, what we pay in taxes, we're providing that money, and it should be used in a fiduciary manner, a responsible manner, the way these elected officials operate. And quick shout out again, we have a lot of our website's blowing up, guys. If you haven't checked it out, themavericktimes.com, www.themavericktimesnews.com. Go and check it out. Be sure to favorite that website. Right now we're blowing up in views, guys, and everybody wants to know why the superintendent Samuel Mijares is getting paid $297,000. Quick shout out to Coach Tom Gonzalez, Eagle Pass High School head football coach, is retiring. He was my coach back when I was in high school. He was the defensive coordinator, so I believe he was around also when my brother played football, and my brother's much older than I am, but I know he doesn't like me saying that, but shout out to Coach Gonzalez. I never got along with all the coaches there at the high school, but I will say Tom was one of the ones that was more respectful to the players. You have some coaches that like to joke and poke fun at some of the players, but what Tom Gonzalez is class act, and that's all you'll ever hear me say as an outsider looking in, as a former football player under him. I didn't play defense, but always a coach that was there for his players, and I'm sure it's the same thing as him as a teacher. So and any other sport that he coached, he was a great guy. So Coach Gonzalez, if you hear this, you see us, if you tune in, or anybody that knows you is watching us, just if you can say thank you for everything he's done, raising men and leaders out here in the community. He's not the only coach that did it. My head coach at the time was Coach Graff, and Coach Graff I can't say, I'm not even going to attempt to say anything good about Coach Graff, because anything I say would be below of what Coach Graff actually is, and we appreciate him as well as we do Coach Gonzalez. So enjoy retirement, Coach, and we look forward to seeing you criticizing the future head coaches coming down, both of the CC1 and at the high school level. So scrolling down at the views that we've gotten at our website, another one that is coming up a lot is the Maverick County Tax Assessor Collector runoff. Now, guys, we have a runoff coming on. We saw this coming because of the 3 candidates that were there for the tax assessor collector for Maverick County. Now, you have all types of controversy coming out because the current tax assessor collector, Azalia Cáceres, she was actually the most, or she narrowly was the highest vote getter for the first election, the primary election in the Democrats. Of course, there's no Republican challenger for the tax assessor collector position here in Maverick County, but it did go into a runoff between Azalia Cáceres and challenger Ruben Montemayor. And one thing that I do want to let the public know about this race is, monitoring the comments, knowing the situation at hand. It's difficult, and I'll tell you this firsthand, it's difficult to be able to have a full-time job and have two full-time jobs. Let's put it that way. And especially with those two full-time jobs run concurrently. Guys, Eagle Pass is no longer the small community that where we were, where guys can come in and wear multiple hats. That he's the sheriff, he's the tax assessor collector, he's the city manager, es el pinche bombero, es el police chief. At one point in history in Eagle Pass, that was okay because we lacked at the time, the capabilities. Let's just be honest. But now we're much more sophisticated than we were 100 years ago, guys. Now, there is no reason to have somebody that is not able to attend a job. It's a full-time job to be a tax assessor collector. And especially with the comments that are coming out on Facebook and social media, we had the realtor, a real popular realtor, a successful realtor, Yolanda Rivas, I believe is her name, coming out and posting something on a platform that, although it compra y vendo is not necessarily for those types of news, but a lot of those things do get posted there, and comments flood, and we monitor those things, and we saw in the comments how the community is responding to the tax assessor collector Azalia Cáceres having a job currently as a teacher or with the school district that commands her time, and that's understandable. Everybody's got to work, but to be receiving another check from taxpayers and then not being able to oblige or be there to take care of the basic duties of the position. Now, some people are able to do it, some people are not. And I'm no one to judge anyone else other than from what I hear from the community. So it's not that I'm judging or criticizing, but you are seeing the community responding. And when the community is responding, it's not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. You have a truckload of comments coming out, and people that are disgruntled about, this lady cannot leave 3:30 from whatever school she's working at and get there in time because at 4 it's closed. So, Eagle Pass, Maverick County, you tell me how that makes sense. Fortis, she was the high by a slim margin, but she was the highest vote getter in the race. Now, that's what caused this runoff, was that Mr. Montemayor and Azalia Cáceres were, not too far apart, and nobody had 50% of the vote. So it's our understanding that the third candidate, Leroy Oresti, is going to endorse Ruben Montemayor moving forward. Now, this is not confirmed. This is our understanding of what is supposed to happen. And this is coming from people that, have their grasp in political, into the political community here. And the political community here is strong. It's strong. They're knowledgeable. They know their shit. So we're expecting sometime before the runoffs kick off, we are expecting the third candidate, Leroy Oresti, to come out and endorse Ruben Montemayor. Now, if you were to get just half the votes of what Leroy Oresti got to slide over to Ruben Montemayor, it's over. It's over. It's a landslide victory. And that's what, as I'm saying, that's the sense that we're getting. That's what we've heard from multiple sources, who have their finger on the pulse of Eagle Pass's political scene. They're telling us that Ruben Montemayor is going to be the winner regardless if he got the most votes the first time around or not. Again, they're saying that Leroy Oresti would come out. Okay, we got some news coming in from Fortis right now saying that the former tax assessor collector endorsed her and it wasn't true. And I'm not sure if she said that, Fortis. I haven't heard that. I'm taking your word at that. But you are right. It is not true because the tax assessor collector, Mr. Casas, actually endorsed Ruben Montemayor. And if you scroll through Ruben Montemayor's page, his political candidate page, you see when that endorsement comes and that picture comes where the former tax assessor collector, Mr. Casas, endorses Ruben Montemayor. Again, guys, you are the one who's going to be voting out there. We're not anybody to tell you how to vote. We're just here to tell you guys or give you guys the best knowledge you can have, the knowledge that no other news media is giving you out there. I don't know, this thing turned off. How do I sound out there, guys? I still sound all right? Thanks for being patient with us, but you don't see how. Yeah, so this guy says playing both fields. Well, I mean, that is the move that a lot of people tend to adopt here. Fortis is that, hey, it's the Rockefeller move, right? Where you fund both sides of a conflict and you're a winner regardless. So I don't doubt if that's a move that's being done, but when you monitor both the campaign pages, obviously there is no picture, there is no official endorsement being given to Azalia Cáceres, but there is one for Ruben Montemayor on behalf of Mr. Casas, the former tax assessor collector. Guys, I know you guys can hear out there the thunder is getting loud. We continue to get you guys checking out on the Eagle Pass Independent School District Superintendent. He is in the top 100 paid superintendents in the state of Texas, guys. Let's see here. So that story has been blowing up here in our website, and we appreciate you guys. We've revamped our website. We have more things coming to you. As you can see, we have a whole new setup that we wanted to test out, and we're investing in our craft here to bring you guys nothing but the truth. And that's what we look for here in the Maverick Times. And just coming back on that, the Maverick Times, the reason why we chose that name was because if you look up, go ahead and Google if you want, Maverick, and what is a Maverick? And a Maverick is a person that's independent and can make conclusions on his own without any outside influence. And that is how we continue to stay strong as the Maverick Times News here, and continue to spread that word, is that we're not beholden to any entity. We're not beholden to any person. We're not corporate media that is a mouthpiece for anybody, but we're actually a news media that is funded by you, the viewers. And if you guys want to help us out and contribute, I am putting our Cash App on here, and you can send us money. Again, we refuse to take any other corporate type of funding or any big type of funding source other than small business and grassroots type of funding that comes straight directly from you, the constituents, the taxpayers. This is what we do it for. It's not to get rich, obviously, but there's a lot of things that have been going on here in Eagle Pass and continue to go on here in Eagle Pass. And I think that without anybody holding these people accountable, it's going to be rather difficult for the regular Joe Blow, regular Joe citizen, you and me, to be able to compete and keep up with everything that's going on. You have news media nowadays that is it's pay for play news media, and the news media here has always adopted the thing where, hey, you pay me money and I won't put any stories out against you, and that's totally what we're not about. Of course, we do have responsibilities, but at the end of the day, as a friend would say, we are tasked with, and we appreciate the comment coming in from Jonathan Cavazos. Thank you for speaking the truth, man. It takes a lot of guts. We appreciate that. It's not many people that are willing to give us props for what we do, and we try to say the truth as much as we can from our point of view. I may not, or you guys as viewers may not agree with where we stand every single time, or with what the news we're giving out and everything, and that's the beauty of having the interactiveness of this, right? Now, if there was anybody that thought that Mr. Mijares deserved the salary that he's getting, hey, pop up in the comments and we'll be more than happy to discuss why he may be entitled to 300 damn K. But I think that's what establishes the Maverick Time News, Isaac Reese Beast, Isaac T. Reese, whatever it is, however it is that you know of this, is that's what separates us, is that, it is what it is. We're not the typical news media that you guys are accustomed to here in Eagle Pass, here in Piedras, here in Maverick County. However, we have grifters, and that's the thing, that we don't have a solid news media here established. I'll take that back. Newsgram isn't established, has been here for a long time. But that's why we get the grifters that come from all over and are trying to come and give news that's happening here, and don't necessarily have their pulse on the community like somebody from this community could, and that's the difference between what we do, and we always appreciate comments, Jonathan, because the comments don't come as often, or don't reach us much. Usually when we do get comments, it's of the fuck you type of nature, or fuck off, or anything like that. But the thing we do here is not anything special. Anybody can do what we try to do, and I commend people that try to do it for the right reasons. We have other people for unfortunate reasons do media, not necessarily to provide you with any kind of input or information, but rather stuff something down your throat using different means of explanation. And I hope I kind of get that message across to you, because regardless of what you feel, how you feel about anything that we've put out or what we put out, we don't block people. We pride ourselves in that. I know news media is here. If you tell them something, they'll block you real quick. If you disagree with us here, we'll argue. You want to talk shit, we'll talk shit back. But one thing we won't do is block you, because we are respectful of the First Amendment right, which we feel that everybody should be respectful of our First Amendment right as well, the right to establish press and media. And that's why we respect everybody that comes on and wants to say anything, whether it's from a fake profile or a real profile. We don't block anybody, because you need to say what you need to say, whether it's from a fake profile or a real profile. Say it, right? But that's the difference between what you guys see in any other news media here compared to what we do. And we're the smallest one out there. We're not trying to act like we're the giants, but check us out in a couple of years, 2-3 years, and see where we're at that time. Because we're not going anywhere anytime soon. We're having a blast, giving you guys information, making sure you guys are knowledgeable of the situation of Eagle Pass, Maverick County, surrounding areas, what is happening around Texas. We try to keep in contact with many politicians, not just inside of our community or that vote or that have a say in our community, but also outside of the community, guys. So I think we're gonna end this soon. We're reaching about our hour mark that we typically like to keep it at. But if anybody has any questions, I know we lost a couple of viewers. It's Friday night. We want to have fun. We're having our drinks here too. I hope you guys are set to have, excuse me, some good time with your family. We're gonna go ahead and sign off. We have not received any comments or calls yet about anything. We just do see that the school district post that we put is kind of popping off. And if you have any other questions for us, this video will be up. Go ahead and don't be afraid to drop a comment. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know how you feel about the superintendent of the Eagle Pass Independent School District making $297,000 of your taxpayer funds go to cover his and his brother's salary. Again, they are the top two paid employees for the Eagle Pass Independent School District, and I think that needs to be discussed. We do have elections coming up for school district board trustees. That will be coming up in November for the general election. We do have one vacant seat with the tragic passing of Lupita Fuentes. I do want to say real quick to her family, a respectful comment, of course. Rest in peace, Miss Lupita Fuentes. Prayers to her family. We know how significant she was to the community, and of course how significant she is to her family. And we haven't come out publicly and said anything, but we do want to send prayers to her family. We've known that family for a very long time, so we want to go ahead and pay our respects. But there is a vacancy right now with that, and then in November there is going to be an election to vote for school board trustees here in Eagle Pass. I urge anybody that is interested, if you feel what's going on, the superintendent is making too much money, he's not producing the way the parents want or the students need, then hey, throw your hat in the ring and come talk to us. We're willing to listen to it. Your complaints, your concerns, and if you're interested in running for school board, nobody's ran against these people in a while, guys. We got to keep them honest, especially when we have a superintendent that's making $297,000. A simple question is why? Why? That's double what the past superintendent made, and I think that's a very good question. But we've had the same school board members for a good time now, and I think that it's time that some of them do get challenged for their seats. And we totally expect several people to be coming out and challenging some of these school board trustees that have been there years, guys, decades. Some of these people have been there for a very long time, and it's time to hold accountable some of these elected officials, and in turn their employees, such as the superintendent. Guys, this is all we got. I want to thank y'all for keeping us, the viewers were strong all through the show today. We weren't planning to make a show, but we went ahead and made one anyways, and we thank you guys for jumping on and joining in. If you haven't already, please share this post. Make sure you click that option that every time we come on a live that you're going to be able to get a notification. We're getting our feet wet again. It's kind of a little thing that where we feel we haven't been there for our community to tell at the situation that's going on, and from a first person type of view, somebody that may know or have a glimpse into the political scene, backdoor, once we reveal the curtain, right? So I appreciate you guys following, and just make sure we share this video for us, like it, because it helps us spread everything out. And again, visit our website, www.themavericktimesnews.com. There's a section in there for if you want to send us a news tip. You don't have to do it publicly. You can send us a news tip through our website, and all of that is kept confidential, your information. Before we do put anything out of information or any kind of news tip, we do verify the content. We do follow up. So it's not kind of something that you throw out there and we're just going to run with it. You know, we do have to verify, and I think that the community appreciates us doing our part in the news. We don't want to be that news that's saying Sam's Club is coming and all these things are coming, and when it's not even true, right? Because that is what we build our reputation on as the Maverick Times News. Is what Jonathan said is thank you for speaking the truth, and that's all we want to bring to you guys, our perception of the truth and how we see it, and we just hope that you guys appreciate it and are willing to view and see what our perceptions are of what is going on here in our community. So guys, thanks again. Visit the website, themavericktimes.com. We're always improving it. We're always making it better for you guys. We're about to invest a couple of, we're going to do a heavy investment in it, guys. As you can see, we're investing into our passion, into our craft, and we just hope that you guys can help us in our journey to reach as many people as we can in our community. So enough of this, guys. Enjoy your Friday night. I have taken too much of your time. Again, if you have anything else to add, the comment section, I don't know where, down here, up there to the side, is available. Comment something. Our phone number, 830-968-0344. Send us a message on WhatsApp, text message, give us a call. Let us know what's going on in your school in particular that the superintendent should be taking care of before receiving that $297,000 check. Thank you, guys.